Part 1. The examiner asks you about yourself, your home, work or studies and other familiar topics. Do you think it's better to use a paper map or a map on your phone? When was the last time you needed to use a map? If you visit a new city, do you always use a map to find your way around? In general, do you find it easy to read maps? Part 2. You will have to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. Describe an occasion when you had to do something in a hurry. You should say what you had to do, why you had to do this in a hurry, how well you did this, and explain how you felt about having to do this in a hurry. Part 3, Discussion. Arriving late. Do you think it's okay to arrive late when meeting a friend? What should happen to people who arrive late for work? Can you suggest how people can make sure they don't arrive late? Ielts speaking strategies. Before the test, it's important to familiarize yourself with the format of the speaking test. Make sure you know exactly what you have to do in each part of the test, then you can feel confident and prepared on the day of the test. Try preparing for the speaking test with a friend. Take it in turns to play the roles of examiner or candidate. Use the practice questions in the speaking module to practice asking and answering questions. Try recording yourself and listen to the recording. Focus on different aspects of your performance. For example, check your verb tenses, or the variety of vocabulary that you used, or your use of linking expressions. Ask yourself how you could improve your performance. When you practice answering questions in Part 1, try to get into habit of expanding your answers. In other words, when you answer a question, try to say more than just yes or no. Give a reason or an example as well. When you practice giving a talk in Part 2, use a stopwatch app on your phone or computer to time yourself. This helps you to get an idea of how much you need to say to keep going for about 2 minutes. When preparing for the talk in Part 2, it's a good idea to practice reading topic, brainstorming some ideas, and noting them down on a piece of paper. Use a stopwatch to allow yourself only 1 minute to do this. Try to make the most of every opportunity to practice your speaking. For example, if you're asked to participate in a discussion in your English class, use this as a chance to practice for Part 3 of the speaking test. Listen to broadcasts and podcasts in English as often as you can. Use the internet to keep up with the latest news and current affairs in English. While you're reading or listening, think about your opinions on the issues. This can help you find something to say about a variety of different topics. As you listen or read about current issues, make a list of words and phrases that relate to that topic. Make a note of how the words and phrases that relate to that topic. Make a note of how the words are pronounced. A speaking dictionary can help with this. Try to review the list once a week. Use your study time to practice talking about a variety of different topics. Don't try to memorize talks for Part 2. The examiner doesn't want to hear a talk that you've memorized word for word, and the chances of your getting exactly the topic you've memorized are very low. Remember to practice your pronunciation. Find exercises with a recording to practice individual sounds, word stress, sentence stress, and the intonation patterns of connected speech. During the test, the examiner gives you all the instructions during the test and guides you through the 3 parts. Don't worry if the examiner interrupts you at any point, it's nothing personal. The test has strict time limits for each part of the test, so the examiner may have to stop you. In the exam room, be friendly and polite. Sit facing the examiner, and make eye contact regularly while taking part in the conversation. Be aware of your volume and speak loudly enough so that the examiner can hear you. Try to make the interview interesting for the examiner. Remember, he or she enjoys hearing what candidates have to say. If you make a mistake, try not to worry about it. Just keep going. It's only natural to make the occasional error. The examiner knows this and is assessing you on your overall performance during the whole test. In Part 1 and 3, if the examiner asks you a tricky question, you can use a filler expression such as "That's a very good question," or "Well, I've never really thought about that before," but to give yourself a little more time to think about your answer. In Part 2, when planning your talk, always use the bullet points to guide you. They are there to help you. Don't worry, however, if the examiner stops you before you finish covering all the bullet points, because it's not necessary to cover them all. In Part 3, to help extend your answers, use the prep method. Make a point, give a reason, give an example, and restate your point. Don't forget to use connecting words to link your ideas together. If you can't think of the perfect word to use to express your meaning, don't worry about it. Use another word instead and move smoothly on. Your ability to paraphrase is a positive thing. At the end of the test, don't try to ask the examiner about how well you've done. Examiners aren't allowed to talk about this with candidates. After the test, it is a good idea to reflect on how you performed in the test, but doesn't waste time and energy worrying about any mistakes that you may have made.